Okie doke. Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to training session number 3. We are here with Prof Ninja tonight. It is Tuesday, July 29th for some crypto stuffs. But before I hand it over to Prof Ninja for tonight's training session, just a couple of announcements and reminders. Many of you saw earlier today, I did post a poll in the announcements channel on Discord regarding cyber battles for this week. So this will be part 2 of cyber battles. I'm looking to host it on either Thursday or Friday. So I put a couple of options in there. If you have not already voted already, please do so by responding to the message in Discord with the corresponding emoji. And I will share out tomorrow the date that we choose. It's looking currently like Friday is going to be the better option. And depending on response, we may host 1 or 2 sort of hours of matches for individuals and for teams, just like we did last week, which I heard was quite fun. Saw lots of really good chatter in Discord. Jess and Christy both said that they enjoyed it. So I appreciate all of you for participating in what was very first for the US Cyber Games program. The final 2 cyber battles sessions, I do have the dates for those, so I figured I would share them with you. We are looking at Saturday, August 16th will be cyber battles, time TBD, but it will probably be slightly longer than what you're used to in just 1 hour of competition. And then the final cyber battle opportunity will be Wednesday, August 20th, I think, if I can read my own handwriting. I think that's a 0. Yes, the 20th is a Wednesday, probably at that 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So again, the last 2 cyber battles in terms of dates are Saturday, August 16th and Wednesday, August 20th. I'm not sure that there will be individual opportunities to compete in Cyber Battles 3 or Cyber Battles 4. So while that does remain an opportunity for you all this week, I will confirm sooner rather than later about options 3 and 4. So we are skipping next week, as you may have seen from the dates that I just shared. That's due to many of our coaches and mentors and many of you being out in Vegas for Black Hat and or DEF CON. Yeah. Cool. A couple more announcements. Number 1, there are still way too many of you that have not completed the LMS onboarding assignment. That is now past due. That is now a total pain in my behind because it is much harder for me to assign points to those of you that have not updated your LMS profile to something other than like a string of 17 random numbers. And that's it. So do me a huge favor, please, if you have not received points for the LMS onboarding assignment in Canvas, you have not completed it per the instructions provided. So with that, I hope to see the rest of those unfulfilled deliverables delivered upon very shortly. Last but not least, we do. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I thought I was muted. I was just trying to mouth.
It's all good. And last but not least, we do have a couple of crypto challenges ready to go for you. I will connect with Prof Ninja and with Sudo after tonight's training session to figure out whether those are going to go live tonight or if they're going to go live tomorrow morning. If they aren't going to go live tonight, I will drop a message into Discord. It'll be some kind of the same thing as last week, in that we will have them out no later than noon Eastern time tomorrow. But either way, you'll have an update from me tonight in terms of if they're live or if they would be going out tomorrow. I did receive a request regarding next week's challenges, which I thought was quite valid in terms of making sure that the challenges are ready to go Tuesday night. Since next week is Black Hat and DEF CON, I know many folks will be competing out at DEF CON starting on Thursday. So I will chat with the 2 folks running next week's forensics sessions to make sure that they're ready to go on Tuesday as soon as possible following the training session. I do believe that is my last announcement or reminder. I have gotten into grades the last couple of days and returning scores, points for everything thus far that I am tracking, aside from AB points for cyber battles on Sunday. I need to chat with Jess about that exactly. And we'll have an update for you on that shortly. Such an L for the workforce. I don't know about that. All right. That is all I have. Mr. Legendary Prof Ninja, over to you, my friend. Thanks for being here tonight.
So I did make like some online notes for this, which leak the source code of my baby problem. You know, I'm not the most connected to everything else outside of this. Is just you DM me and like do a thing. I'm like, cool, I'll do a thing. But I'm not like zoned in like everybody else. So if I give that to them now, is that a big deal, or do you need to go live in some coordinated fashion?
No, I think if you leak it now, it's probably fine because that'll just reward the people that are tuning in for tonight's training session.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, then I will do that. Boom, there's my notes. Okay. Also on my calendar it says from 8:30 to 10. I have a house full of guests. And so I wasn't planning to go an hour and a half. Like I you know, always could, but I think that there's somebody else jumping in after me or whatever. So I don't know if I've got an ideal amount of minutes to be talking. Maybe should I do 45? Maybe it is 45.
Yeah, you're forgiven. It's all good. Let's do it. And you know, there certainly could be an opportunity to run through some of the problems from the open if that wasn't already your plan or something. If you have a couple minutes to spare, but also no pressure. Whatever you prepare is going to be great.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So I'll just do what I want to do, and however long it takes, and we'll go nuts. Okay, I always get a little bit nervous about how to tune these. And that is to say, when working with the, can you guys see my screen? Yeah, it looks like you can. Oh, right. Now, I think if I'm in this mode, seeing the chats, in-call messages, there we go, I want to see that. I like having a human to talk with me. So I wouldn't mind a human, but I get a little bit like unsure of where to set the target in terms of crypto difficulty. And generally speaking, I would guess this thing that I want to talk about tonight, maybe 70% of you have done a problem like this before, something like that. I'm not totally sure, but I hope even if you did or you have, I'm gonna like put my own little beautiful spin on it. Like basically, I had the thought, I'm like, ooh, there's a thing that's beautiful, and this is an excuse to go talk about that beautiful thing. And I think like I'm a math PhD, and like math PhDs, you know, I like stopped teaching math because I don't know. This is me being a hippie or whatever, but like it, you know, I love the beauty of it, and I like having my like hobbies not be the way I'm making my money or whatever, right? So like, that's a little bit how CTFs feel, where it's like, okay, you can figure this out, you can go GPT it or whatever, and it solves it, etc. But like, I don't really care. The thing behind it is this idea that like feels cool to me. Yeah, exactly. So I pulled up the chat. It's taking up like a quarter of my screen, but I like a calm person if I can, but we'll see how it feels.
Sounds good.
All right, let's go. Thank you. So
oh, my microphone's been on this whole time. Sorry.
You've been on the whole time, Chris? Okay, and Chris, you actually do a college course for, or like to meet with your like college CTF team or something?
I can talk with you about this later.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So let's go nuts. I'm gonna do two topics that I think pop up in CTFs. Actually, I think since we've landed in the land of like AI, I've almost been dragging my feet as a CTFer, where it's like I kind of I don't know. I like the old school stuff, and so like I have no idea how. Oh, good. Okay, yeah. I have no idea how the landscape is changing, but I in the pre-AI days, I'd say these pop up fairly often, and I think that like secret sharing is always there. And so I think it's just a thing that, I think it's a thing that's important to know. But again, what I really want to talk about is Lagrangian interpolation, because it is like fascinating to me, and I feel like it makes me feel like, oh, had I been born at the right time, I could have been a genius too, or whatever, and have something named after me. Because it's like, oh, it's just like this idea, and I think that idea can be transferred into other stuff, right? And so like it's somehow beautiful and simple, and like, and I don't know, I just like elegance like that. Okay, so here we go. So we'll start with the idea of what we need to do. Threshold crypto is what I'm calling this. So here's the idea. Imagine that you've got some sort of nuclear bomb codes, let's say. And you want to, like, I don't know, make sure that a rogue agent doesn't go, what's the Kubrick movie? How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. That movie.
Dr. Strangelove.
Dr. Strangelove. There you go. I got this
escalated quickly.
So you've got new codes, and you want to make sure that one rogue agent and some weird things don't cause the annihilation of the human race. Okay, cool. And if you've got these nuke codes, you've got kind of a choice for how you want to, how many people you want to be needed to unlock the codes. So the idea of threshold crypto is that you want to share a secret with like n people. So let's say it's 10 people, and you want to make it so that any 8 of them can get together and unlock the secret, but not 7. So that is to say, if there's a group of 10 of us, and this is some sort of weird idealistic democracy, and we've got 8 out of 10 agree that it's time to nuke somebody, then we can do the nukes, but it takes 8 out of 10 of us. Or you could set it up for 10 out of 10. That's the idea of threshold crypto. So we want to be able to unlock a secret given some threshold of people who agree to do it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what reality is. I just, like, one thing that's true about mathematicians, they just like the puzzles, and then they are like, maybe somebody will apply this one day. And so whether or not this is actually for nukes or whatever, something like that, that's just my imaginary scenario for why you might need threshold crypto. Yeah. Ooh, Ramsey problems. All right, I'm not sure what that is. But it's too distracting. Okay, here we go. I've got 2 methods for you. This one, it's just out of my favorite little crypto textbook or whatever, something like that. I don't even know what the name of it would be, but it's an excuse to talk about XOR, and I love XOR because XOR rocks. That's a palindrome. And I love XOR because XOR is like the place where I get to feel most like I am in Bletchley Park. And it's Wordles and crosswords and things like that are needed to do crypto, because it's word games inside of what feels like math. Like a lot of people are like, "Ooh, I hate crypto problems" or whatever, something like that, or like, if I have to install Sage, things suck. But the truth is that it's actually English, is like, and letter frequencies and all that kind of stuff like that, or whatever, and XORs are the places where that shows. So for my baby problem, I'm hoping that your Wordle skills help you. Okay, maybe. Here's my dumb idea for that. In fact, let's just like pull up a Python. Oh gosh, we're gonna get in trouble. Let's say message equals hi. Okay. I lost my chat window, so I don't know what people are saying there. As I like went over here.
You're just joking about how job is a bad word.
Job is a bad word. I'm totally down. I'm such a miscreant in my 40s now. Like, anyway, whatever. So here's the idea of threshold crypto using XOR, where I want to have, let's say 10 of us are needed to unlock 10 secrets. Let's import some randoms. Let's make my message a little bit longer. This is the secret nuke codes. Okay, length of message is that. Length of message is 29.
See Python code or anything, because we just see the threshold crypto website if we were supposed to be something.
Whoa, crap. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's probably why. Okay, thank you for your insightfulness. You are present something else. Can I just go entire screen?
Yeah, now we can see it.
Okay.
I saw Dingo is playing RimWorld as well.
Dingo is playing RimWorld. Okay.
You got a Steam notification at the
I got a Steam notification. Honestly, like Dingo was an undergrad student of mine in like 2018 or something, and I probably haven't talked to them in 6 years, but still it's important that I know what video game they're playing right now.
Is there a reason why you use like IPython instead of like Nano, Vim, or anything like that?
Okay, so like Nano, I do use Vim a lot, and I think that's a cool question. So question, is there a reason I use IPython instead of text editor when farting around? And the answer is I believe in the power of rapid prototyping. So like I think that cleverness is overrated. But the speed of failures is the key to success. So I play around in IPython to kind of be able to quickly do things, tab, see what's working or not, or whatever. And at some point, being in an interactive session when I'm farting around with the idea I'm playing with, it gets too annoying. I'm making, utility functions or something like that or whatever. Then I just save it over into a text file, and then I can edit that and run it again and get back into interactive mode. So like I think I jackknife between oh gosh, is jackknife like that or 2Ks? Jackknife? Anyway, whatever. I jackknife between REPL mode, which is just like do it, see it, interactive, whatever, and like save it mode for
2Ks, by the way.
2Ks, one word. Yeah, I'll think anytime I spell something wrong, it's going to be the double letters. Okay, but that's fine, which actually is cool for crypto, but not for tonight. Okay, we have secret new codes. Here's our goal. I want to make 10 shares of this secret where all 10 of us need to put our shares together.
Also, someone asked a question in the chat that I think is really interesting.
Okay.
Does it get more or less secure with the more people there is? So like, is there a limit on like, is it like an exponential function on the security of this? And if so, which direction does it go in?
I think that analyzing the security of this is like, you almost have to kind of wear different hats. And so like how secure is this or something? I think that the 10 out of 10 means that the real risk is someone dying or just losing their secret. And so like when I think of how secure it is, I think the more people I need to unlock it, the more likely a tragic car accident will cost us the ability to shoot our nukes off or whatever. Probably the version of that question, like how secure is it, probably the version of the question that they're really asking is like, can 9 out of 10 people crack it? You know, and there I'll say that there should not be in the demo that I'm giving you 8 out of 10 secrets. Or I think I'm giving you 9 out of 10 and seeing if you can crack it with 9 out of 10 and a little bit of Bletchley Park. I'll say that 8 out of 10 should have like no hope of ever getting it. 9 out of 10 is maybe conceivable. So can 8 out of 10 people crack it? No. And that doesn't change with if it's 98 out of 100. Can 9 out of 10 people crack it?
So you're just saying percentage-wise, most people can't crack it. That's what is considered secure.
Yeah. Or you like, I guess you get to tell me what you think is secure. Like, so I've been in an OPSEC mood lately for one of our little like ventures, and OPSEC is awful. And you know, and honestly, like for a long time, the NSA just had rubber hose crypto, which is just beat the secret out of somebody. You know.
I think like the real question though is like more because we say that we generate the secrets based on like and like the random strings, but like, and then if you add more and more randomness, if it then becomes more secure, more difficult to.
No, yeah, adding more randomness really doesn't change the difficulty. The reason you would have 10 or 100 or 200 is political. It's like how many people want a seat at the table. It's a Game of Thrones question for why you make more.
Okay.
So I think 2 is just as or 3 of them is just as secure as 300 of them.
Thank you.
But good question.
It wasn't me, it was Cameron. It was just in the chat.
I
So
appreciate you
responding.
speaking up
Yeah.
because I cannot see the chat at this moment. Okay, so secret nuke codes. Let's do this thing real quick. So I'm gonna make some shares, and I will make 9 shares by just generating 29 random bytes. So here's what these shares are. They have nothing to do with the secret yet. They are just random noise. You know, and if ever you're doing a crypto problem and you see U random in the source code or something like that, that says you're never going to crack this random. Like it's too good for you. So U random, chef's kiss in terms of like unpredictability. So how are we going to put our secret into this? So I'm going to say temp equals message for share in shares. Temp equals the XOR of temp and share. And now I append that. These are my 10 messages. Okay, so what? So the first thing we did is we generated 9 completely random strings of 29 characters. And then I simply XOR'd them all together with the secret and made that the 10th one. So you might think that this one is like more important than the rest or not or whatever, but here is maybe another part of how to analyze that or how to see what I was thinking when I said 3 is no different than 300 is really this. XOR is cool. So if I say like, let's XOR Andy and like fart, I will get this thing. And if I XOR that thing with fart, I will get back out Andy.
Literally says if you XOR all 10 together, then in the other direction, you could get the secret back, right?
That is correct. Yes. So the idea is that there, that's the part I want.
Oh yeah, what is the underscore you can just take in the input, the output?
Yeah, the underscore will take the output of the previous line. So I guess this goes with your previous question of like, why do I use IPython? Well, that's part of why. I can just like not have to save anything in a variable or just kind of like fly a bit. All right, so is this communicative here? So one of those things that's true about XOR is that like A XOR B is C, and like I wasn't. Oh wait, I should like put a comment there. Anything XOR itself is 0. How comfortable is everybody with that weird fact? I wasn't planning on an XOR lecture, but I love it and it's cool.
So then, in terms of how secure it is, you would think then that having 3 people is much less secure because you just have to go and find 3 of their secrets if you're XORing all the secrets together in reverse order, rather than going and finding 300 people.
That's fair in terms of an OPSEC level.
Okay.
Right, like, but in terms of like mathematically, the security of this is the same as the security of the one-time pad, which is sort of provably perfect, and yet it shows up in every CTF. Which, you know, I find beautiful. I'm not sure if what I'm typing here is communicative, but I'm gonna type it anyway for a second. In fact, I'm gonna go find the chat and drop this here. Where's my chat? Boom. If C is XOR B, if C is AB, and anything XOR itself. So how does XOR work? XOR is like if 2 bits are on, I get a 0. If 2 bits are off, I get a 0. If I get a 1 and a 0, I get a 1. If I get a 0 and a 1, I get a 1. So what that means is that anything XORed with itself, like 1 and 1 or 0 and 0, will cancel out. And when I'm XORing messages, I get, you know, a whole bunch of 0s and 1s with a whole bunch of 0s and 1s, and they all come out to 0 because they're the same 0s and 1s. And so what it means, so what I did here with this Andy and fart example is that Andy XOR fart is this nonsensical crap. But this nonsensical crap XORed with fart spits back out Andy. Why? Because fart and fart XORs to 0. All 0s. That's because, and the way this works is that each one of those letters is sort of 8 bits in ASCII, and they're all just canceling with each other when you XOR them. Does that make any sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Okay. So the way that this plays out when you're doing an XOR problem in like CTFs or something like that is, let's say that I have like a flag format. And let's say that my flag format is Ninja. Hi there. Something like that. And I simply XOR this flag with, let's say just like the letter A. I get some nonsense like this. But if I know the flag format, so like that could, you know, that is often considered like a ciphertext. Like this is the one-time pad roughly or something like that. I have this ciphertext. And to say, if I were to do the XOR of that first character with the lowercase n of Ninja, I'll get A. Or even if I were to XOR the whole thing with Ninja, which I know, I'm going to see A, and then I'm going to see stuff that doesn't match. So in your mind, you kind of fill out this little, like, you know, like in the Wordle sense, you kind of fill out this thing in your head where it's like, oh, I know the flag was Ninja, and then a bunch of characters I don't yet know, right? And so if you XOR the thing that they gave you with this kind of guessed thing, you're going to see these A's at the beginning where the ninjas line up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters you really knew from the flag format, and you saw 6 A's. If you see that, then it's like, oh, well, maybe they're just using the letter A over and over and over again, and I should do that, and I'll get the flag out. So a lot of times, when I said that, like, I was hesitant to say that 2 is secure, but 3 is. Because if I know something about the format of the secret message, then I can kind of maybe get something about the other guy. But it is secure if they're all truly random. But if they're not truly random, I can leak something. So a lot of times these show up in CTFs where like the key has something, you know, not so random about it, or, you know, that it's ASCII and ASCII, which is definitely not random. Like ASCII is certainly not random, etc. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. XOR is awesome. And it's like, and it's the Wordle of CTFs, right? So like, I love that about it. Okay. So next up, how do we do this shares thing? Well, now we have shares, and I can really just say let temp equal like the first of my shares, and then just do the same thing in reverse, but with the other guys. And we'll just say temp equals XOR of temp and the share. Spit it all out. This is the secret nuke codes. All you have to do is get all 10 people together, XOR the secrets, you get threshold crypto. Okay, so that's baby method number 1. Just take a bunch of random strings, XOR it with your secret, make that the last thing. These are called shares. We've got a 10 out of 10 scheme here. That's not a Yelp rating. That's really just saying I need 10 people out of 10 people in order to decrypt it. Okay. Cool. You with me on that?
Yes, so far.
All right. We're good so far. Okay. That is my baby flag for you, is I did exactly that process. But I gave you, I want to say 9 out of the 10 and leave the rest to you. Okay, cool. All right, next up, a secret poll. Ooh. Did I provide 8? Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah, I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I solved it. Okay. Next up, let's do secret Shamir sharing, the SSS. And this guy, yeah, I don't know anything about these polls and stuff like that. I'm just here whenever Brad says be here. So, okay. This is the Shamir that his S is the same S as RSA. So Shamir is the S in RSA. Crib dragging is not, okay. Crib dragging is a skill. Anyway, fine. I made a category in our last CTF that was all sorts of ways that I think people are wrong to call things too guessy. But that's just like asking to piss people off.
Okay. I just find that half the time I'm working on a CTF challenge that does crib dragging, it ends up me just running a program for like 20 minutes for it then to find nothing. I think I know when I have to use it. I just find that it's very hard to optimize it.
I don't think it's that different than, like, in my mind, instead of writing a program, like, what I like about it is that it's the Bletchley Park, right? So like and in my story of Bletchley Park, it's the reason they've got, crossword solvers in there, along with Alan Turing making the very first kind of like computers, is that the crossworders would say, I'm pretty sure that this is a German phrase, and that means that these things are fixed, and that limits the search space from 10 million down to this, and they're right. AI is going to suck at crib dragging because for the same reason that your program will waste 20 minutes. It's like my favorite version of crib dragging is actually to have a whole group of people sitting around the monitor, and we're like party gaming it, right? Where it's like, ooh, I think this might be a word. Which one of these is words? And I'm not brute forcing anything. It's kind of like you're looking for anything sensible inside of that, and then like adding one character at a time on both sides to try to make a sentence and that kind of thing. And so I think you're right. Like if you're approaching it as like a brute force thing, it's just gonna like be frustrating. But if you approach it like a jigsaw puzzle or like an escape room or something, it feels like an escape room to me with crib dragging. But anyway, okay, we can have that debate or whatever, you know.
Yeah, not to derail. It's just a strong opinion of mine.
Yeah. And mine is basically that it's just like a wordy logic puzzle. So it's like a lateral thinking thing almost, which you can call guessing. But I think it's actually like its own type of skill set. Okay, blah 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 blah. If anything, it's just it's like old people liking trivia, you know, or even trivia being okay, way off the rails. Shamir secret sharing. Here is what's different in Shamir. In Shamir, I want to now not need all 10 of us. I need to have, let's say, 5 out of 10 of us, or 6 out of 10 of us, or something like that. Okay, Chris asked a question. What's the relationship between C1 and C2 where N1 XOR A is C2? Okay, yeah. Can you? I'll take a pause real quick to answer Chris's question because I think it's really interesting, and it also helps my case in the thing. So Chris just asked this question. Let's say I've got C1 is the XOR of, let's make like a secret is os.u random 10. So here's like a secret. And I'm going to say C1 is the XOR of that secret. And like Andy was here. Is that 10 letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Andy was. Okay, there you go. And C2 will be XOR of secret. And let's say banana art. It's 10 letters. Okay. Chris asked the question, what is the relationship between these two things? Because you're going to see this a lot in CTFs also. And here's what you do with it. Mathematically, you look at it like C1 is sort of like secret plus Andy, or secret plus like message 1, which is unknown to you, the player, typically. And message 2 is secret plus message 2. The XOR of C1 and C2 is the same thing as Andy was XOR'd with banana fart. Those are identical. And so while these were mixed in, XORing them together is going to basically do this. You're going to have secret plus M1 plus M2, and the secrets cancel because anything XORed with itself just disappears. And so you actually get something that has fewer ingredients when you combine all 4 ingredients. But once you have this, now this is where the crib dragging comes in our previous debate. And you're like, ooh, this guy likes his own name or whatever. And so you like XOR this guy with Andy. And now you're off to the races. You're like, banana. Oh, okay, cool. That's banana. And you're like Andy W. And now there's no way you're going to know that I was saying banana fart unless you like know me or something. But you might say like Andy W, and then like what words go there, like, you know, and if you get Andy was, then you're like banana fa, you know, and now you're like, okay, banana fart, you know, okay, fine. So that's how that process feels, because you know at some point you've got ASCII XOR ASCII, and that's insecure. Okay, hopefully that answers that question, and I think that was a good question. Okay, not brute force. Okay. Yes, I did do that to you. Okay. I thought that was cool. All right. Yes, sorry. I love crib dragging. I'm sorry. I'm here to talk about Lagrange interpolation, I promise. It's all crib dragging all the way down. No, I actually want to say something completely different about polynomials. This is a polynomial lecture. We haven't even touched it yet. All right, here we go. We are trying to now do secret sharing, where I want 10 of us to have shares of this thing. But as soon as 6 of us agree to unlock it, we can all 6 unlock the secret. Okay, so here's the concept of it. You make a polynomial, you give it like degree k-1, you give it random coefficients except for the constant coefficient, and your shares are going to be points on the polynomial. I think I have like an old one of these I could pull up maybe. Crypto.prof.ninja notes. Just looking at one of these. Memes were different back then. There you go. So here's one of these classic Shamirs. Oh gosh. And so you make a polynomial, and all you really do is you just apply the polynomial at a particular number, and you say f of this is that. And you're like, here's my x, here's my y. I've got points on a polynomial. Okay. So the idea of the Shamir secret sharing is the following kind of concept. Now, I did something tonight for this. Like, these notes aren't very big, but I went and got a little like Wacom pad so that I could draw. All right, I wanted to draw. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the letter E. That's my eraser. I was practicing this before I got here. Boom, eraser. I'm gonna hit the letter P. That's my pen. All right, here we go. Let's suppose that I've got like an XY plane. Oh gosh. All right, I didn't wonder whether or not I can draw. Let's say if I have a point here and a point here, how many lines can I draw through those 2 points? Yeah, it does. 1. All right. All right. 60. No, 1. Up to Euclidean geometry or some assumptions about, whatever, the world or something like that. So there's my 1 line. Now, can I hit Control Z? Yeah, I can. Woo! All right. How many parabolas can I draw through that? Infinite. All right. So I could draw this parabola, or I could draw this. Wacom. Dude. This parabola, infinitely many. Okay, that's a parabola. And since I can draw infinitely many parabolas through this thing, 2 points is like not enough to define one particular parabolae. Yeah, fine. And so here's the concept. If I have the secrets are points on a parabola or on a curve, and the curve is degree, let's say 2. Let's say this is the secret curve. The idea is that this integer value will be the secret that's supposed to be protected. And then I start generating points in this parabola. And I hand them out as shares to people. And so maybe these are the 4 shares. If I only have 2 people, then all messages are equally as likely. If I have 3 people who give me points and I say, hey, there's one perfect parabola that goes through those 3 points, then this is the only possible point at x equals 0. So generally speaking, let's go Wacom. The line we make is something like the secret plus like a random number plus a random number x squared. And this one will allow 3 shares of this point, and the 3 shares might be the number, come on, baby. 1, f of 1, and maybe 2, f of 2, and maybe 3, f of 3. Okay, not the best drawing I've ever done. Okay, these would be the secrets, and if all 3 of these people got together, they can find the parabola. But I could also give out more secrets, right? I could also have 4 f of 4, and now any 3 of them can get together and find the secret, and all they have to do is find the polynomial and then just say, what is f of 0? And that will be the secret. Okay, you with me on that? That's the idea.
How are we guaranteed that it's a how are we guaranteed that it's a to the power 2?
When we are crafting this, we use the degree of the polynomial to match the number of shares we need. So if I go back to my notes, I'll say what I do is if I need to share a secret with like k out of n people, then I'll use a degree k minus 1 polynomial, give it random coefficients everywhere. That's correct. So Andy got it right in the thing to say you make a polynomial of degree 7, you give out 10 random points in that polynomial, and you make the secret the constant coefficient. And so it's in the construction of it that I would know kind of what the 7 out of 10 needs to be. Or 8 out of 10. I wanted 8 out of 10. I'd make a degree. 8 out of 10 means that I need a degree 7 polynomial. Okay, yeah, the Wacom is taking me a second to get used to it. So I can like hover over it to kind of move without writing, and then once I'm down, I'm like, ooh, it's time to write. But sometimes it hesitates a little. Okay. All right, you with me on that, or was that clear enough?
So then to guarantee the right polynomial, you would need to have 7 of those keys. Otherwise, you would have to go through an almost, or 7 of those. Otherwise, you'd have to go through an infinite number to try and figure out what the actual polynomial is, right?
Yeah, if I had a degree 7 polynomial, I would actually need 8 people in order to find the exact coefficients of that curve. And if I only had 7 of the 8 people, then there would be an infinite number of curves through all those points, and each different curve would have a different like value at x equals 0. And it would basically be able to hit every single one of these.
Okay.
Okay. Now, that's how Shamir's secret sharing works. And that is enough for you to do it in CTFs and things like that, or whatever kind of maybe, or something like that. But here is the actual thing I really wanted to talk about as an excuse to share old person beauty with young people. So let's talk beauty. Racing. Okay, so old man beauty. Does this elegance, if you will. All right. Yeah, the way to break it is just have enough of the secrets. That's correct. But now let's just talk about the mechanics of breaking it if you do have enough secrets. All right. So what I want to do now is just look at how do I take in XY coordinates and find the polynomial. So let's do it with 3 of them. And I'm going to say I'm going to make up a polynomial in my head that's very simple. And let's go with 1, 6, 2, 11, 3, 18. Now, I think that you guys could like probably figure out my polynomial on your own, just with like the same reason I think that crib dragging isn't guessing. But let's craft a perfect parabola that hits these 3 points. I'm going to show you all of this is just an excuse to talk about this idea, which I think is just really, really clever. Okay, here's the idea. Hey, Wacom, wake up. Wake up, Wacom. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. The big concept is an idea that you might even hear as in other math places as like support, maybe, or something like that. I'm going to make a little sub-polynomial that has the following trait. At x equals 1, y is 1. But at x equals 2, y is 0. And at x equals 3, y is 0. So I'm reading the chat, and it's all about boiling bagels. And I think that like Montreal bagels are different than New York bagels. I don't know how, but they're all good. Okay. But it's mostly just about boiling bagels is like Gen Alpha slang or something?
No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
We can make
Sorry.
it.
You
Sorry.
can make it.
No.
I just don't want you going home from this lecture thinking that.
Because anytime I learn anything, I can make it terrible for my children, right? And so I can be like, hey, kids, you're boiling bagels again, or whatever. But no.
That's the point of the parents knowing the slang of their kids' generation is intentionally using it wrong.
Yes, that's right. Let them cook. Okay.
He ate that boiling bagel.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, kids, I learned some new slang tonight. We boiling bagels. Let them cook. All right. So, sorry. Back to crypto.
George, I think that was the best one so far. That one made sense.
Okay. Here's what I want to do. I want to build, this is the beautiful thing I want. I'm going to build like a methodology for making a parabola that hits 1 at certain points and 0 everywhere else. Here's the dumb idea for this. Ready? X minus 2 times x minus 3 divided by 1 minus 2 times 1 minus 3. Take a look at this dumb little parabola. This dumb little parabola, when you put in 2, it goes to 0. When you put in 3, it goes to 0. But if you put in 1, it goes to the number 1. This is the thing that makes me feel like, oh, if I just lived when Lagrange lived, it'd be called like the Andy interpolation method or whatever. Just say like, okay, cool. This little guy is guaranteed to hit 1 when x is 1. Yeah. And all I have to do if I wanted to hit 6 is just multiply by 6. So 6 times this guy is going to be 6 when x is 1, but it's going to be 0 when x is 2 and when x is 3. What does that get me? Well, I'm just going to add it to another one, which is going to be 11 when I'm at x is 2. And Boom. Okay, let's take a look at this guy. Plug in 2 in your head. You get 2 minus 1 over 2 minus 1, 2 minus 3 over 2 minus 3. This is equal to 1. Plug in 1 in your head. You get 0. All right, it's all 0. Plug in 3 in your head. You get 0. So this term hits 11 when x is 2, and it gets killed, annihilated here and here. And this term hits 6 when x is 1 and gets annihilated here and here. And then finally, we're just going to add in 18 times x minus 1, x minus 2, divided by, oh gosh, my writing is getting worse. Okay. This guy is going to be 18 when x is 3, because this will perfectly be 1, and it's going to be 0 everywhere else. If you add these all up, you now have a polynomial that hits all 3 points. And so, like, okay, Google Meet sharing my thing, fine. Since I'm hitting a polynomial, like this is a parabola, it's degree 2, degree 2, degree 2, add it all up, of course it's going to hit all 3 of these points. Now, it's a heck of a lot of algebra to simplify all this, but if you simplify it, you'll end up with my polynomial eventually. And, you know, magically, it's all going to work its way out, and it must eventually be just the simple little guy, x squared plus 2x plus 3. Just a chill polynomial. And you have to do a lot of work to get there, but this is a guaranteed method of like ending up back at this thing. All right, does that make any sense? All right, I know you guys, you know.
Yes, it does.
Makes sense.
Thinking bread thoughts, but it is just a chill polynomial. And like, this I think is just yeah, it's a beautiful concept, and I think it like applies in a lot of other wacky ways maybe, but it's just like it's just a behind the simple, you know, chat GPT answer where it's like, ooh, just plug it into Sage and it does this thing. I think is a thing that is actually pretty beautiful, and then doing the work, I'm happy to let Sage do the work or whatever, but all right, so let's see what some of these questions are. We only need the constant from this. Yes, we only need the constant from this anyway. So we just have to apply x equals 0 to all of this. So we don't even have to do all the expansions. We can just plug in x equals 0, and eventually we'll find the number 3. The coefficients are supposed to be secret in this, since, you know, they are the essence of the polynomial. But a lot of times when this is done, the polynomial is modulo a prime or something like that, and so that prime might be known, or will be known. But the ciphertext is the constant. The plain text is the constant. The message is the constant. And that's it. This is Lagrange interpolation. This is the idea that I find beautiful. It's really just to say, like, you can kind of just force your polynomial to come out with this like dumb little construction, but it's like, you know, cool. Dynamic XOR challenges. Yeah, I thought about making a dynamic XOR out of this guy where it's like, you know, but whatever, it's fine. Quasar wrote a really hard one to go with this, which is this, but on an elliptic curve, which you can now do or whatever, or something like that. Yeah. Okay, that is my 1 hour. That is what I planned on. So timed it perfectly. That's that university experience, whatever. I'll go hang out with my house guests and stuff. Was the other dude stepping up, or are we calling that?
Andy, you are the man. I think we are at a wrap for tonight.
Okay.
I will, folks, let me ping. The challenges are not quite ready to be deployed via the CTF environment. So you will hear from me as soon as they go live. So Stay tuned to Discord. I'll share an update there. They will go out no later than noon tomorrow. If they're not going to go out tonight, I will post in Discord sooner rather than later to let you all know not to be expecting them until tomorrow. However, I cannot promise at what time they will go live tomorrow, but it won't be later than noon Eastern. With that, please give Prof Ninja a massive round of applause. So many amazing lecture comments in the chat tonight. So Andy, thank you very much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your evening with your fam and friends. And then folks, yeah, stay tuned to Discord as well. If you haven't already responded to the poll regarding cyber battles, dates and times for this week, that is in Discord. Please respond to that with the corresponding emoji to indicate your availability. And I will have a decision on that made tomorrow as well. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on time. Thanks for being engaged. And we will see you, like I said, next week is forensics with mentor Morgan and Coach Brunty. So have a wonderful rest of your evening, everybody. Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon.
Hey, Brad, quick question for you.
Yo.
I know that on the schedule, at least in Canvas, it says next week is